Welcome. My name is Abhi Rajguru, and I will be your guide today on this lovely journey of wisdom meditation. Firstly, let's find a comfortable seat, whether you're sitting on the floor or on a comfortable chair, keeping your back reasonably straight yet relaxed. And let's start this journey. Firstly, I will offer 3 tips to help you get the most out of this wisdom journey. And then I will lead you through a guided practice. So, 3 tips. First one is gentleness. Because in the modern world, we are trained to try hard to achieve everything. So, even when it comes to meditation, we try hard to achieve peace. I found that that's counterproductive. So, keeping a very relaxed, very gentle approach, a more yin energy or feminine energy based approach, if you like. Second is curiosity. This is perhaps the most important one. If we are genuinely curious about knowing ourselves, about truly understanding how this mind, body, feelings process work, like a curious, 5-year, 10-year-old child, this curiosity would really bring us insights rather than just looking for a short term peaceful escape. Wisdom based meditation is very much a long term well being approach based on understanding ourselves. And third and final tip is openness. We are used to of controlling many things in life, and perhaps we do the same with meditation. We have certain ideas like thoughts should not come, mind should be focused. It may be true in perhaps more concentration based meditations, but in this wisdom meditation, it is actually not at all important. All natural processes, we allow them to happen, and our only job is just to be aware of whatever is happening right now. We are just being an observer. Okay, with these 3 simple tips, now let's get started. Feel free to close your eyes if you haven't done so yet. And if you prefer to keep your eyes open, you may look at the floor, maybe a meter or so in front of you. I will ring the bell 3 times and we'll get started with our guided journey. Firstly, let's establish our anchor point. Gently take your attention at your stomach. And let's just continue with normal, natural breathing. First, we will connect with the movement of stomach rising and falling. Stomach going out and in. In the beginning, it might even help you to put your right hand on your stomach to feel the movement of rising, falling, rising, falling. So here we would do two things. We would feel the sensation of rising and falling, and we will mentally label it at rising and falling at the same time in synchronization. Let's start here, feeling the sensation of rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling. And about the same time it takes for the physical movement of rising and falling, for that same length of time, that's mentally labeled rising or in synchronization, rising. This is how we synchronize the awareness of body and mind. Rising, forward. And remembering our gentle approach. We are not trying hard to achieve anything here. Our mantra here is to relax and be aware. Relax, starting here at our home base, feeling the rising, falling of our stomach. Once we've established our awareness at our home base, now let's open our awareness to any experiences at our six senses in this moment. Meaning we have five physical senses of hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, with the skin touching. And the sixth sense being mind or heart. So our intention here is we would stay at our home base. Imagine you are chilling at your couch in home. And if any visitors come knocking at your door in terms of any six senses, we would acknowledge them by answering the door. And here we will use the technique of labeling, which comes from Mahasi technique of Vipassana, from this wonderful Buddhist monk in Myanmar. Here the idea is we just give it a one-word label to describe the inner process that is happening right now. The mind, body, feeling process that's happening right now. The intention with this labeling or noting technique is it allows us to stay as an observer, taking a step back to see the full picture of reality, rather than being just the experiencer, the character in the movie, only seeing the limited picture. And this is the message behind the Buddha's famous teaching of Vipassana, which we can roughly translate as seeing reality in high definition. So, this is a very powerful, a profound technique that has been proven over the centuries to lead people to self understanding, wisdom, and inner freedom. So in a more practical context, let's say we've started at our home base of rising and falling. And if we hear a sound, then we physically take our attention to the ear and we just label it 3 times: hearing, hearing, hearing. And then gently bring our attention back to the home base, rising and falling. Beauty of this practice is nothing is a disturbance. Even if any noise in the background, maybe a construction noise, maybe cars passing by, somebody screaming in the background, it just simply becomes awareness of hearing. This is how we practice our awareness in any situation. Similarly, whilst you're sitting at your home base of rising and falling, a thought comes to your mind. And remembering in this wisdom meditation, thoughts are never a problem. You could have 1,000 thoughts coming up. Your only job is just noticing them and labeling them. So whenever any thoughts come up, gently take your attention to the head and give it a mental label 3 times. Hearing, hearing, hearing. And then gently bring your attention back to the home base, rising, falling, rising, falling. Let's continue like this. Similarly, when any feelings come up, we would just simply label them as pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or neutral feeling. This is how we can acknowledge the feeling without going into too much of details of the story. And also, we'll always choose a label that's neutral, not emotionally charged, which allows us to stay as an observer, to see the complete picture of reality, which is the aim of this Vipassana or wisdom meditation. So whenever any feeling come up, take your attention to the part of the body where you feel those sensations. If it's your heart center, or anywhere else on the body, take your attention there. Recognize if it's a pleasant sensation, unpleasant sensation, or neutral sensation. And then just give it a label 3 times. For example, pleasant sensation, pleasant sensation, pleasant sensation. And then gently bring your attention back to the home base, rising, falling, rising, falling. This is our second foundation of mindfulness, mindfulness of feelings. The awareness of breath and the 5 physical senses. It's our first foundation of mindfulness, which is mindfulness of body. So let us continue with these first 2 foundations. Bring to be relaxed, curious, and open. Curiosity, as I mentioned before, is a very important part of the practice. Actually, very important part of the puzzle is our reactions of the mind. This is where curiosity really helps us. This is where the Buddha's third foundation of mindfulness comes in, mindfulness of the mind. So here, to simplify it, we will just simply notice whenever there is thinking, we will label it as thinking. And even more importantly, if we notice any reactions of the mind, such as liking or disliking, craving or aversion, we will also label them. So, for example, whenever there is a pleasant feeling or pleasant thought, if you carefully notice mind's reaction, there might be a reaction of liking. If so, after you've observed pleasant feeling and labeled them, you may even label liking, liking, liking. Similarly, if there was an unpleasant feeling, and you might choose to notice the mind's reaction. Let's see if any disliking is present. If so, label it as disliking, disliking, disliking 3 times. I found in my practice that observing mind's reaction is a very important part of the puzzle and labeling them, because then it makes unconscious conscious. And similarly, noticing any expectations. There are any expectations present, labeling them 3 times. Expectations, expectations, expectations. What I found in my experience, a big majority of our suffering is caused not from any unpleasant feelings or thoughts, but much more from our mind's reaction of liking, disliking, or expectations. This is something we usually don't see. So if you can notice this one thing, could make a big difference on our journey of inner freedom. Let us continue like this, practicing mindfulness of body, feelings, and mind, using this labeling technique, and then coming back to our home base. Maintaining this curiosity, openness, and gentleness. Relax and be aware. The two things we need to know: what is happening right now and where in the body it's happening. This is how we will see the complete picture of reality, or see the reality in high definition. This is how we end up in the fourth and final foundation of mindfulness, which is mindfulness of reality, or mindfulness of the truth. This we will cover more in detail in future videos. We don't want you to be enlightened just in the first video. And yeah, it's really important, even with these deeper wisdom-based practices, to, maintain lightness, this joyfulness. So this has been our focus, to make the practice joyful, with a light-hearted approach, with a good understanding, and the support of a like-minded community. Together we can. Wonderful. Now let's take 3 more mindful breaths together before we finish the practice. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. Breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. I'll ring the bell 3 times. Please keep your eyes closed for now. When you open your eyes, please feel free to bring both of your hands together. A moment of gratitude. Gratitude to yourself. Gratitude to our amazing teachers. And gratitude to our spiritual community. Feel free to open your eyes now. A huge gratitude. Thank you for joining on this journey today. If you'd like to join us on this journey, please feel free to subscribe, ask any questions in comments, and I will be happy to answer any questions or comments. And let us continue on this journey together, sharing this profound wisdom, this powerful technique, and supporting each other on this journey with lightheartedness, with joyfulness. Together we can. Thank you.